anxiety. There's no more helplessness and hopelessness and uselessness. Everything flows. It's wondrous. And then we eat our bread, lasova. We eat our bread. And it satiates. You know, most people are unhappy. And the Gemara tells us that it is built into human nature when we are living in the domain of the body. The body has 100 and it wants 200. It wants 200, has 200, wants 400. Ain't not a mace. The person doesn't die. Half of his desires are unfulfilled. We're always needing more and wanting more and unhappy and feeling unfulfilled. It's horrible. We're always feeling helpless and useless, and we think we should be so much more. And this is the real blessing. If I no resistance. Not because hasta la vista, resistance is futile, so you better follow. Be a zombie or the demons will get you. No. I'm walking. I'm going for a walk. These are my chukos. Do you know chok? We have an expression, when the Jewish people sang for the well and the water that flowed from the central rock in channels and streams to all the different tribes and tents and families, each one had its own little tributary. They sang a song. They sang a song, B'mchoykek b'mishanoisam. There's a mchoykek. Mchoykek literally means the lawgiver, the one who gave us the chok. Mchoykek also means you take a staff and a stick and you make a channel in the ground, b'mishanoisam, with their stick, with their staff. Each of us has our own portion in Torah. We're connected to the big source, to the big sea. But I have my letter that I have to illuminate, and I embrace that letter. I'm not in conflict. I'm happy I'm born with these characteristics, with these character foibles, with these strengths and liabilities. I may be prone to depression. I may be emotionally charged. It's great when I'm on a high, but when I'm low, oh boy, am I low. This is my letter in Torah. This is great. I illuminate it. I have my mitzvahs. Ben adam l'chavere, ben adam l'mokem. And when there's a natural walking in it and with it, all these blessings are intact. There's no resistance from heaven to earth, from earth to heaven. Because here there's a constant sense of conflict that restricts our ability to create a Mishkan. This is the Mishkan, the Tzavar. And there's always dust being pushed up from the body that obfuscates. There's a ma'ora of sense of curse, an eclipse that doesn't allow the light to filter down. All these blessings reflect the totality of the connection. Everything is intact. And I will remove the chayra, those bad animals that are in the oretz. You know, there are all kinds of bad animals lurking inside here. Woo! Sometimes we're like a snake, we hiss. Sometimes we are birds of prey. We don't even know. We see something that we take advantage of and we just swoop down from on high. We can't control ourselves. It's like irresistible. We've got to say something nasty. We've got to dig in. All kinds of feelings well up. All the animals in the world are down here in our little safari kingdom. Hashem says, I'll remove all the chayra. That's such a blessing. Living in a state of peace There's peace. V'nosati shalom ba'aretz. You know when there's shalom, when there's peace in the aretz over here. And ve'ein macharid. There's no fear and anxiety and worry. How does he translate it? Ve'ein macharid. There's no one to frighten you. You know, we're frightened. We're fearful of the future. We're fearful that maybe people are going to know the skeletons in our closet. We're fearful maybe I'm not going to be able to, I'm going to fall, I'm not going to be able to be what I'm supposed to be. This shalom bars, ve'ein macharid. Seamless integration. I like to call it spiritual seamless integration. Our ecosystem is flowing perfectly. There's no danger that the penguins or the otters or the wildlife, they're all there for a purpose, but they all have their place. Nothing is going extinct. Don't have to shoot them. It's all good. Everyone knows its place. It's so incredible, the blessing. You know, there's a sword. There's a Damocles sword that hangs over our head. What does a sword do? A sword disconnects heaven and earth. Decapitates. Disconnects. There are Averas that are called Inyane Cherev. The Yetzer Hara comes, chases after us. Oma Oyev, Erdif, Asik, Echalek, Shol, Timlim, Nafshi, Orik Rabbi. It wants to take us and disconnect us. But there's not even a sword to be seen, never mind, it's not even in his sheath. It's good. Sometimes you see a Talmid Chacham and he's living, a great person, that he's in a state of total composure and a joy. That doesn't mean life is easy. That doesn't mean they don't face challenge. My Rabbi told me there hasn't been a stage in his life where he was doing what he wanted to do. From the time when he was a bacha, he didn't want to learn in the yeshiva in Slam, he wanted to learn somewhere else. And then when he got married right away, he had to be a Ramagid Shir and then a Rosh Yeshiva. He didn't want it. He didn't want every stage. He didn't want to become Rebbe. Just didn't want it in every stage. But you know what? You look at him, there is total equanimity and joy, passivity and embrace. Because there's peace. There's a b'chukoisei tilechu, it's a chok. But I can suspend my seichel. I want to suspend my seichel. Because I know you're holding my hand. And then, this is the source of the blessing. Panisi alechem, I will turn to you. V'hifresi eschem, v'hirbesi eschem. We're fruitful, we'll multiply. Do you know there's so much talent, power, ability, creative juices that flow inside each and every one of us, and there's so much pain when they're stunted, stilted, and not given expression, and we feel that we're not living up to our potential, we're not living in a meaningful way. And these are all the blessings. And the greatest blessing. You're going to be so secure in the knowledge that you're not going to lose me and I'm not going to lose you. This is real. This marriage is secure. And then you're going to eat very old grain. And the old in front of the new will make way for the new. Do you know what a blessing that is, my friends? Wow. Do you know how the pattern of real succession is supposed to go? You have the elders, and they're capable, they hold over and give the baton of leadership to the young ones, and the young ones learn, the Gedim become Siyoshin. In our society, the old are kicked out, thrown down the drain, down the chute, shoved into retirement homes and golf courses, and the young are celebrated. And the more progressive we are, anything old is medieval. Because we live in a corrupted mindset where everything has to be new and instant. And here's the blessing. You're going to eat old, very old stuff. You're going to delight in the old stuff. We're going to be connected to what was. And this is who we are. We're going to eat it and be satisfied. And then, as we have to bring on the new, it'll be a natural transmission. And I'll put, this is the greatest blessing of it all, V'nosati mishkani b'soichechem. I'll put my mishkan down inside of you. It's perfectly fused. And there's no resistance. My soul will not repel you. Do you know when a person gets a transplant of someone else's lung, they have to take anti-suppressants because there are germs. The body wants to repel. It's a foreign implant. But when something is who we are, the body embraces it. It seamlessly integrates. Heaven will be naturally connected to you. Inside each and every one of you. And I'll walk within you. And I'll be to you as a God. And you'll be to me as a people. This is blessing. Brecha. It connects. It flows. And it multiplies naturally. Everything's intact. The rain is in its perfect time. Peace, tranquility, serenity. And then here we have Imloi Sishmuli. Why is the source of all the curses? You walk with me Bekeri. You walk with me casually. You give expression to your bodily impulses and desires without harnessing them and controlling them. If we want to live like an animal, then we're going to live in the animal kingdom, and all the animals are going to get us. We're going to live in a constant state of fear and confusion. And all the curses, if you look at them, of course we look at them from the bigger perspective, the outer perspective. Oh my, the enemies are going to chase after you, and you're going to be stricken with, let's read it in English. But if you do not perform my commandments, if you consider my decrees loathsome, if your being rejects my ordinances so as not to perform all my commandments, so that you annul my covenants, then I will do the same to you. If we don't allow heaven to seep down to earth, then Hashem says, okay, we're going to take heaven up to the Shemayim. I will do the same to you. And I will assign upon you panic, swelling lesions, burning fever that causes eyes to long and souls to suffer. And all of these really are spiritual maladies, because when there is disconnect, heaven to earth, there is panic, and the body is no longer in a healed state. It's corrupted. The bugs, all kinds of stuff fly on the screen, all kinds of nonsense surfaces, and you start banging at the keys to try and get rid of it. But it needs a whole detox. You have to shut down the whole thing and clean out the whole system. Doesn't work, and we get more and more confused and angry as we're banging the buttons. There's a burning fever. That means it's not healthy. Inside, there's all kinds of things, desires that are burning, that pull us down in bed. We don't want to get up and deal with it. We're sick, we're incapacitated. And our eyes long, we're always wanting this and wanting that and wanting the other. And we're running away, but no one's running us. We're running, we need money, we need this, we need that, we've got to go. I need to upgrade, I need to climb the ladder of financial success, I want to live the American dream. Where are you running to? We're really running away from ourselves. And it goes on and on. If you read inside, between the lines of the entire Tochacha, we see the Tochacha within ourselves. Internal havoc. Our ecosystem is not intact. We're in conflict with our children. We eat the flesh of our children are in conflict with us. There's no productivity. We don't feel productive. We're constantly being zireh larik. We're throwing away our energies into empty pursuits, and we come home and we feel empty, and so on and so forth. And the worst of it all, the go'ala nafshi eschem. We just feel like we're not connected. God doesn't like us. And we're constantly militantly fighting to kind of create a religion from not having to follow perfectly God's ordinances. You ever see these people that are the leftist militants, the women at the wall? You wonder, you think, like, come on. You know, we grasp spirituality in order to satisfy our craving and yearning for connectivity. But it's saccharine. It won't even come from being in yoga classes, Zen, meditation, and at the same time living a hedonistic Western lifestyle that is self-indulgent. I need my things, you know. I want you to understand, you know, who I am and what I need. We kind of retreated to our little lives. We have difficulty with interpersonal relationships, with real satisfying, meaningful relationships. So we have our life. We have a dog. We have our little apartment. We've got our cable, TV. Don't tell me what to do. We may even have a companion, but it's not a real relationship. It's serving us. And the more it serves us, the more we're in a conflicted, internally, deeply tortured state and frame of mind. We convince ourselves that it is not so, but it never really satisfies, because we're not really connected. How beautiful. What an incredible lesson. Do you know what it all boils down to? Do you know what the end of Bucha Koisai teaches us? It's the Pasha of Erechim. It talks about assessing a person's value. That if one says, Erech Ploni Alai, the value of so-and-so I want to give to the Beis HaMikdash, so we have to assess it. And the commentaries say something very important. Do you know what pulls us off our track in life? Our core values, our ability to surrender to our divine will and source and purpose and mission of why we were here. Why do we want to assert ourselves with silly stuff? We want to indulge and we want to go Bekeri. We want to walk casually. Keri is a form of masturbation, a form of losing, of physical indulgence, living in a sense of abandon without harnessing our life source and life energy for its mission and source for which it was created, but rather it's for ourselves. We do it because we don't value who we are. We've lost our erech. We have to know we're malachim, we're kings, we're queens. We're malachim. The king knows. I'm here to connect heaven and earth. I'm a king. I'm a queen. I'm a bas melech. I'm much more than this. Melech, moich, my head connects to my heart, it connects to my liver, it connects to my emotional being. I'm a melech. I don't want to live in a state of kalaim. Everything's topsy-turvy. It's intact. Have erech. Society makes us feel that we're just a random accident, and so we can live and make ourselves into a toilet bowl that sucks in all the garbage. And we think that's what we were made for. But constantly flushing it is never enough. Because we've defined ourselves as such. We wired ourselves as such. We need to be stimulated as such. Got to get back on track. Let's remember. V'zochati lechem bris rishonim. I will remind them of their bris rishonim. Yaakov, Yitzchak, Abraham. We're going to go back to the old. and will restore our life mission and purpose, and will restore what's in our veins. This is who we are. We have it as an inheritance. We're Hashem's chosen people. Then we'll come back to our land. We'll come back to our land, and we'll be able to have a Mishkan that connects us, heaven and earth, and we'll be able to truly celebrate our existence. Our letter in the Torah will shine. We'll live to our potential. We will feel fulfilled, joyous, integrated, content, with clear focus, moral clarity, connectivity. And even if we're not perfect, we know Hashem loves us. We're secure in our relationship because we're secure with ourselves. We're constantly recalibrating to try and connect the dots. We don't want to live in an uncalibrated state. Then it's good. My friends, let's wish one another good Shabbos.
Quickly, Rabbi, you said person can be up, then emotionally they're down, they're depressed, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, depression, though, if they keep them from doing the mitzvahs, what's the benefit of that? That almost seems like a punishment.
The benefit of depression is that it tests our muscle, that we can demonstrate that our relationship to God is independent of our moods.
So if a person's depressed and they don't do the mitzvahs, they just can't get out of bed. How does...
And they get out of bed, that is incredible. There's nothing more valuable than that.
And if they don't get out of bed, does that mean...
Then tomorrow they're going to get out of bed. That means we're going to go on.
Tomorrow will be a better day.
It says, you should love it. Hashem Elokecha, Hashem your God, b'chol levavcha, with all your heart, b'chol nafshcha, with all your being. And as the sage say, b'chol nafshcha, with all your being means with all your life, even if they're going to take your life. I'm in love with God. And the Chiddushim said, b'chol levavcha, even if they take your heart and you have no emotions, no feelings, you're feeling down, and you demonstrate love of God, that's like giving your life.
Wow.
Isn't that great?
That's
great.
That's a real chiddush. Yeah, that's your call, for sure.
B'chol levavcha.